The blinking terror of Willow Creek. On a balmy June morning in 2025, the sleepy suburb of Willow Creek, where lawns were manicured and mailboxes bore monograms, was about to be shaken by a single green light. Evelyn Harper, a 52-year-old retiree with a penchant for neighborhood watch, stood on her porch, binoculars pressed to her face, staring at a small silver device on the Wilsons' gate. The light pulsed like a warning, and to Evelyn, it wasn't just a lock, it was a threat. Her next move would ignite a firestorm of chaos, sirens, and internet infamy that Willow Creek would never forget. Evelyn wasn't your typical nosy neighbor. She patrolled Willow Creek with a thermos of iced coffee, a notebook labeled incidents, and a conviction that she was the block's last line of defense. She'd reported stray dogs, suspicious delivery vans, and once, a teenager's drone she swore was a CIA prototype. Most residents humored her, chuckling at her rants during HOA meetings. But that morning, as she zoomed in on the Wilsons' gate, her imagination spiraled. The device, no bigger than a credit card, was, she decided, a surveillance tool, maybe a bomb. By 8 a.m., she was on the phone with 911, voice quaking, describing an electromagnetic intruder on Maple Drive. She didn't knock on the Wilsons' door or ask questions. Instead, she hit record and went live on Facebook, whispering about 5G towers, government spies, and frequency warfare. Within an hour, Willow Creek was a spectacle. Police cars sealed off the street, a fire truck loomed, and a bomb squad in bulky gear rolled up with a remote-controlled robot. News vans crushed petunias, and a police drone hummed above. Neighbors, sipping coffee behind curtains, were equal parts baffled and enthralled. The Wilsons, a tech-savvy couple in their 30s, were at their downtown jobs, unaware their gate had sparked a crisis. The device was a smart lock, installed days earlier as part of the city's fire safety initiative. It allowed firefighters swift access to backyards near a ravine notorious for brush fires. The city had mailed flyers, held 2 HOA meetings, and secured approval. Evelyn, who'd skipped those meetings, claiming they were brainwashing sessions, was clueless. Fire Captain Daniel Torres arrived, surveyed the lock, and let out a groan that echoed across the cul-de-sac. "Stand down," he barked at the bomb squad. He strode toward Evelyn, who was crouched behind a rosebush, narrating her live stream to her 47 followers, mostly her cousin, a former coworker, and a few bots. "Ma'am, this is a fire department lock. It's city mandated. You voted on it." Evelyn, clutching her leopard print cardigan, blinked. "I voted no," she snapped. "And I don't trust blinking lights." Torres's patience frayed when he learned the lock had been tampered with, scratched and scuffed, likely by a key or coin. Its internal camera had caught Evelyn at 6 a.m., poking the panel and muttering about tracking signals. "That's not me," she insisted, squinting at the footage on Torres's tablet. Lots of people were leopard print. The fiasco might have faded into neighborhood lore, a tale for the annual block party. But Evelyn escalated. She posted videos claiming the lock was part of a smart city takeover to monitor residents. Her followers egged her on, and the internet pounced. A clip of her shrieking about neural frequencies went viral on Reddit's r/neighborhood drama, captioned, "When your HOA Karen thinks a lock is Skynet." Memes proliferated, Evelyn's face on a tinfoil hat, labeled "Blink and you're doomed." Her live stream, set to techno music, hit TikTok as lockdown lunacy. Then came the fire. 2 weeks later, the Millers hosted a backyard barbecue for their daughter's 10th birthday. Balloons bobbed, kids chased each other, and burgers sizzled. But a grease flare-up ignited dry brush near the ravine, and flames roared toward the fence line. Guests screamed, adults herded children to safety, and someone sprayed a garden hose in vain. The fire latched onto the Millers' pergola and crept toward the next yard. A 911 call brought firefighters racing to the Wilsons' gate, where the smart lock should have granted instant access. But it didn't. The RFID scanner flashed red. A technician pried off the cover, revealing foil, gum, and a melted coin jammed inside. The lock was useless. Precious minutes were lost rerouting hoses over fences and through a neighbor's yard. The fire scorched the Millers' pergola, singed the Pattersons' siding, and sent 2 kids to paramedics for smoke inhalation. Damage hit $25,000, and the neighborhood reeled. Captain Torres, inspecting the lock, was livid. The device's camera showed Evelyn, at 4 a.m. the previous day, taping a foil-lined baggie over the sensor and wedging a gum-covered penny into the port. This wasn't meddling, it was sabotage. The city attorney filed charges: obstruction of emergency services, property damage, and false reporting. Evelyn, unfazed, posted a video titled "Framed by Big Fire," claiming the blaze was a setup to silence her. Her comments section, once supportive, turned savage. Her cousin wrote, "Evelyn, get help." The HOA, fed up, convened an emergency meeting. Evelyn arrived with a binder labeled "Evidence" and a poster reading, "Wake up, sheeple." She ranted about surveillance farming and a mystery van she'd seen weeks earlier. The HOA president, a weary accountant named Harold, cut her off. "You endangered lives," he said. The room nodded. Evelyn was banned from meetings, stripped of community center access, and barred from reporting suspicious activity without evidence. Flyers dubbed her actions the Willow Creek Clause. Her reputation, once quirky, was now toxic. At her trial, Evelyn represented herself, armed with a binder labeled "Proof of Conspiracy" and a Stars and Stripes scarf. She wore a brooch shaped like an eagle and declared the lock a compliance experiment tied to a land grab scheme. The prosecutor showed damning footage: Evelyn taping foil, jabbing the lock, and muttering about frequency beams. When asked if she thought the fire was real, she claimed it was amplified by weather manipulation to frame her. The jury, stifling laughter, convicted her in 20 minutes. The judge, a no-nonsense woman named Clara Vance, issued a $50,000 fine, 200 hours of community service, and mandatory fire safety classes. Evelyn gasped, muttering about a blinking cabal, but the gavel fell. Willow Creek buzzed with gossip. The Wilsons, hailed as heroes, hosted a barbecue to mend fences. Captain Torres attended, joking about foil-proof locks. Evelyn stayed home, blinds drawn, her lawn overgrown, her once pristine roses wilted. Her YouTube channel, Unveil the Grid, flopped after she claimed sprinklers were data siphons. Comments ranged from pity to mockery. Yet, in a surprising twist, the fire department offered redemption. Captain Torres invited her to a fire safety seminar, asking her to listen, not speak. To everyone's shock, Evelyn attended. She sat in the back, silent, clutching a notepad. At the end, she approached Torres and whispered, "I thought I was protecting people." He nodded. Protect by learning, not breaking. The city expanded the Smart Lock program, and Willow Creek became a model for fire safety. The Wilsons received a plaque, and their lock, upgraded with tamper alarms and a polite voice warning. "Step away, you're being recorded," stood Sentinel. At a community drill, local actors reenacted Evelyn's saga with a foam lock and a shrieking Karen smacking it with a ladle. The crowd roared, but when Evelyn appeared, watching silently, the laughter faded. She let out a single, bitter chuckle and walked home. A kid filmed it, and Karen's last laugh hit 15,000 views. Months later, Evelyn was spotted tending her roses, waving shyly at neighbors. Her channel went dark, her rants ceased. The neighborhood exhaled, grateful for peace. But the story wasn't quite over. At a spring fair, the fire department unveiled a safety campaign featuring Willow Creek. A video, "The Maple Drive Misfire," showed the lock's purpose and a blurred clip of Evelyn's 9/11 meltdown, captioned "What Not to Do." It went viral, with 50,000 views. Evelyn, now trimming her hedges, saw a neighbor's kid point at the lock and giggle. She paused, then smiled a small, real smile. The lock blinked on, a reminder that fear can blind, but understanding can heal. What do you think? Evelyn's saga stirred up chaos, but it raises tough questions about fear, justice, and community. Was Evelyn a misguided protector or a reckless menace? Did the neighborhood fail her by not intervening sooner, or was her punishment fair? What about mistrust? How do we handle it when fear spirals into danger? Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us your take on justice, accountability, or a time you've seen paranoia disrupt lives. Let's spark a real conversation.